Thanks for coming back to my channel. Jennifer Oaks here. Timber123 writes, how was your last day of work at the park? What made you decide it was time to retire? What were your emotions knowing this was your last time stepping onto set as Princess Jasmine? Thanks, love the vids. Thank you, Timber, for submitting this question. Awesome video topic. I worked the Halloween party on my last day. Ironically, my first day as Princess Jasmine, like for real, not training, was the Halloween party in 2004. And then 2009 Halloween party was my last one. I was ready. I was kind of done at that point. I was 26 years old. I'd started when I was 21. At my highest of highs doing Princess Jasmine, I remember thinking this was the best job ever. I couldn't imagine doing anything else. My son is playing with the bottom of the camera. Sorry if it shakes. A lot of changes happen in your 20s and you start prioritizing, well, what do I want out of life? Where do I want to be when, you know, it's one thing when you're 21 years old and you're still in college and you're still kind of a student, but as you get closer to your mid-20s, you start realizing, wow, you know, where do I want to be? You know, life's gonna pass me by if I don't do something. Like, you want to break out of your hourly wage job, you know, like and also with Princess Jasmine, it's based on physical appearance, being a Disney princess. So once you start looking a little older, closer to your mid-20s, even late 20s. I mean, there's some girls who are in their early 30s who are still doing it, but very rarely. Those were the exceptions. You know, I went to go work at the Disney spa doing facials full-time, with 30 hours a week, and then I would give Disney random shifts to do Princess Jasmine on the side. So I was doing the Disney spa thing, giving people facials, and then I was being Princess Jasmine on the weekends or on a Friday or something like that. And so that was really nice. I felt like I got the best of both worlds because it was a lot easier to do facials. It was harder to do Princess Jasmine because you were in the heat doing, you know, working, doing facials. I made twice as much money as I made doing Princess Jasmine in half the time. And so it was kind of like a no-brainer. Why am I going to do Princess Jasmine and only making half of what I could be making doing facials at, you know? So, and I loved working with skincare. I'm actually starting a new channel called The Beauty Cream Girl, where I review skincare products and things that I'm using or things that are working for me or not working. I'm gonna try to be as honest as I can in those videos. But anyway, so, you know, I was just ready emotionally, physically, you know, to go. So I remember, but when I was at my highest of high, I couldn't have imagined doing anything else. And so that was, so it was an interesting transition, and you have to go through all of those emotions when you are a Disney princess. You have to experience that, because I think if I would have gotten cut off too soon, I would have been sad. But because I got to go through the high and then go through the low, you know, I experienced everything from people being super nice to me because I did that job to people being mad and angry or envious or jealousy, you know, mean girls. I experienced that too. And so, and I think too, there was always this pressure to stay thin all the time, and I was kind of like, I don't like this pressure that I have, you know, because, you know, you need to, you know, every 6 months they were looking at you to make sure your waistline wasn't expanding. And so that's always an issue when, you know, your job revolves on your physical appearance. So on my first day of work as Princess Jasmine, I worked with somebody who was one of my absolute favorite Aladdins. He ended up, I just loved him, and I have so many great memories with him. But then my last day working as Princess Jasmine was with an Aladdin who I had never worked with. I might have seen him in passing. He was also older, but he was like in his mid-30s, and I was like 26, and I was like, whoa. I was a little bit bummed that it wasn't an Aladdin who I was comfortable with or familiar with, because then I could have been like, oh, this is my last day, like, you know, it's just kind of, I don't know, like I used to do random shifts so much at that point towards the end because I was seasonal. It would have been nice to have seen a familiar face from my heyday of when I did it all the time. I didn't really feel 21 anymore. I felt like I was ready to move on. I don't know, so I hope that kind of answers your question. And I mean, now I am over the moon, so happy to take my daughter. I love seeing my daughter, meeting them, and I love hearing from you guys that you guys have been cast. Some of you have told me that you've been cast or that you've auditioned and that you didn't make it. I'm always so bummed for you guys when you don't make it, but I'm happy that you did audition too. So please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Like this video if you liked it, share this video if you think somebody might like it. And stay tuned for my next video on the 30th. I think I'm going to be reviewing the Epcot Germany restaurant because we took Lucas there for his 1-year birthday. So, all right, everyone, have a great day.